Dream lover, oh so true. Dream lover, I want you because I want a girl to call my own. I want a dream lover so I don't have to dream alone. What is going on, everybody? So, you may know that lately I've been just battling this chronic fatigue, just being so tired. Well, last night we got a new mattress, thanks to help from my parents for birthday Christmas present combo for my wife and I. And we got a mattress that we found by going to a hotel, staying in the hotel, getting great sleep, and being like, what was that mattress? It was really comfy. And so we went investigating underneath the bed, and we were like, woohoo! We figured out what this place is, kind of, and then it didn't exist. So then she went to the front counter, called the people there, and was like, okay, what mattresses do you use? And they revealed to us and said, well, can't promise you anything, they're not a retail store, but they decided enough people had been calling that they were going to start making mattresses on demand, for anybody who wanted them. Other than the hotel, they just kind of add one to the stack, so to speak. And so that's how we got the mattress. And it was about a grand, which for a mattress, like for a pillow top, well-made mattress, I thought that was not terrible, considering a lot of those like bed in the bag delivery, like Purple or Casper or whatever they are. A lot of those are more than that, even with shipping and everything. So, anyhow, I slept from last night from I don't know, 9 something, maybe 10 at the latest, to all the way to 6 a.m., which for me is a freaking miracle. Um, yeah. So, but today, somewhere between 3 and 6 is my daily crash. And yeah, so let's try this before the crash hits. If the crash begins, I will just wrap it up. But we had a talk the other day that I just felt I did a terrible job on. I could barely like follow y'all in the chat, and like work anything. And so I think we deserve a do-over on the topic, which is rainbow fish. And today I also wanted to kind of focus on some of the smaller rainbow fish. So a lot of people think of rainbow fish and they think I need a big tank for that. And that's why I think a lot of people stay away from them. But there's actually quite a few now that are either rainbow fish or rainbow fish adjacent. When I say that, I mean like pseudomagills and stuff like that that are in the same evolutionary pathways, once upon a time, but they're not technically in the same genus groups that most of the rainbow fish are in. Because rainbow fish, they exist all the way from Madagascar to Papua New Guinea and Indonesia there, and then to Australia. And I think that we could give it a go, and talk about some of the small ones again. As always, I promote Dan's fish because I think he does a really good job with the rainbow fish. He has a good selection. They are pricey, but if you saw my video, as of what, 2 days ago? No, yesterday morning. I had price lists and I was showing people price lists, which by the way, I've gotten literally, I got some hate mail that was like expletive filled, and like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, now everyone's going to think that this is all we have to pay for. I have to pay my employees. I have to pay uh, the, the air freight on stuff. And I have to do, and I was like, yeah, you didn't watch the video because I mentioned that. And I mentioned how like Aquarium Co-op, if you're going to pay like healthcare benefits to your employees and things like that, all matters to me as a consumer. And I'm going to pay people like Aquatic Arts, people like Dan's Fish, where that is their goal. Like Dan's Fish, I know that they're a growing company and just now starting to finally turn profit and everything because they spent so much in expanding at first. Um, yeah, you're totally right, Steven. The people who like go on hate rants never watch the full video. Neither do the know-it-alls. They're the ones who just come to drop some like info bomb that they think is like, boom, take that, idiot. Like they missed that there's like 4 minutes on what they said with way more nuance. And it's just like, yes, I agree. That's all I can really respond. But how's it going, everybody? Craig's Catfish, Jeff Kane, what's up? Dylan Brown, of course, Stephen P. and Slossers. And who else we got in here? Jesse Lee, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Dylan Brown, hello. AK Homegrown Roots. Hello. I am feeling a bit better at the moment. Gary Stein, KJH, what's up? What's up? What's up? Linda Worth. Always Linda Worth and Andy. Good to see you. Craig's Catfish Cave. Good to see you. Winds Aloft. Yes, waterbeds indeed, my friend. There was a waterbed company that made one that was clear that you could see fish through. And, as cool as that kind of is in theory, it's also kind of gross on one level. And then it's kind of weird on another level, like for the fish. They probably don't like having shifting and like smashing hand when you're like getting off the bed and you like smush your goldfish in half, that kind of stuff. Connor M, aloha. Kevin Rosenberg, Fish Hippie 39, what's up? Todd McCarver, Cave of Wonders. Logan, what's up? Jonas McGee, Timothy Sundell, Passing Wind. Oh, so many lovely faces here. So many lovely faces in such a den of iniquity and scam, rebel scam. Okay. Let's talk rainbow fish, because before I get into rainbow fish, I want to mention that rainbow fish really are a little special. For one, I think they're kind of dumber than a lot of fish. Like the big rainbows. Pseudomagills, maybe not. But I have seen them just distinctly smash into glass and like logs, stuff they should have evolved to avoid. I'm not saying they should evolve to avoid glass, but they should have evolved to not swim straight into a log, for instance, or to jump straight up in the air and like smack something and then fall down and then do it again. So they're kind of spastic that way. They take a long time to fully color up, to grow, and to be their awkward salmon spawning looking self. But they are absolutely incredible when you find quality rainbow fish. That is 100% for sure. And I think another thing that I'm curious about is most of all of our rainbow fish information and experience comes from Western Papua, up in what they call the Turkey Head. Hold on one sec. Let me try to pull up a map. Rainbow fish. Um, We got the slowest computer ever. And I got a company called KJI or something. And they want to build me a computer. They said that they could build me a computer and that I could make a 7 to 9 minute ad on said computer, work it into a video. I was like, how does one work a 7 to 9 minute ad into a video that's 12 minutes long? I'm like, that is just a video for you guys. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying that, whatever. But they do gaming computers for cheap, and also like big uh Bitcoin kind of mining rig type things where you have like dozens of them stacked in like a false server type thing. Um, so yeah, I guess it's something I'm considering because my right now my computer cannot handle editing HD, or even, I mean, like, let alone 4K. HD is a little bit hard for it. It freezes a lot, like for rendering or doing transitions, things like that. But there's no way I can spend that money with the uh, whatever it's at right now, $23,000 in debt for medical stuff. I'm like chipping away at that, and hopefully, in the next century, I'll get that taken care of. Luckily, with medical stuff, you can just pay like $10 a month and kind of get them off your back, and that's that. Um, but yeah, I am thinking of doing the ad to get the computer. So if you see some crazy video that has nothing to do with uh, anything else, that's probably what happened. Is Alex sold out for once and for all. And okay, let's see here. What happened? Um, for some reason, the computer does not want to run Google Maps or Google Earth or any of that. Um, Yet again, another reason why this computer is workable, but a pain in my face. Uh, well, okay, let's see if I can get at it this way. Yes, I can. That is correct. All right. So, hopping back over here. Oh, look, chat's doing things. Um, Julio Brito, hello. And Alex, make a commercial for your publishing. Two birds. Yeah, um I do have a publishing company called Soma Inc. Publishing, from when I did my coloring books and my art anthologies. ABC Aquatic Biotopes, thank you so much for 18 months as a member. I mean, I know some of y'all are in there, but very few of y'all are in there in the thick of it on the channel like that long. So thank you very much. That is so appreciated. I try to also keep it affordable, and some of you guys are so kind that you select the pointless $5 tier instead of the $1.99, just because you want to coddle me, and make it so my mom says I've never worked a real job in my life, that kind of thing. You allow me to keep doing that, which very sweet. Um, all right. So this is the Earth around. Let's pop out of that. We're coddling Alex today. Yes, that's right, Coro. And thank you for 20 months of coddle, of 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 coddle full throttle. That should be the next. Like, I should do like a marathon live stream one of these days when I've got like energy. Or maybe when we're out and about. I never like crash and get the whole like eyes closing, brain shutting down when I'm moving and when I'm like out and about. It's always when I stop and read, or just kind of if I sit on the couch and kick my feet up or whatnot. Coro, holy smokes! Thank you, buddy. 10 new memberships gifted. Wild man. Thank you, buddy. So this will go towards anybody who's active and who has said they want free things on the desktop at some point. I think a Mac also allows you to do that. But hopefully, whoever gets them, if you guys want to see some of the extra content, which actually I need to do something interesting, maybe some videos that wouldn't be seen ever on the main channel, this channel, something like about warlords and so forth. We could do something like that, and do that like a members only video about, for instance, how different militias are impacting fish collecting in Myanmar, and why nobody has celestial pearl Danio lines that are any good. They're all super inbred. You know, that kind of thing. So let's take a look in a book, Reading Rainbow. All right, so we got the Curse of the Branded Channel. Yes. All right, so I'm going to make this full screen, and I was going to say, there we are. So rainbow fish, they're a sneaky lot, but they mostly live right in the north of Australia. So from about Brisbane up to over here by Darwin and Derby, I guess. Derby's probably as far as it goes. I don't know. There might be a few in some lagoon or something over here, but they're mostly on these in lakes and rivers around here. And you can see there aren't a whole heck of a lot. Like, even when you zoom way in, it's a cold and barren land. No, it's actually a hot and barren land. But I think we can do, where's the, I wanted to pull down satellite so that we could see what was going on in these regions. But in any case, there's these things that you may have heard of called a billy bong. And in some of these areas like this, they're a swamp. And there's a river running through it. Brad Pitt is there fly fishing daily. And if you follow it, you get to these interesting places. Now, this is interesting because it's marked as like a, I don't know, it's either a reserve or a park. I guess it depends on the system they use in Australia on Google Maps. Here's another river that you can see that the length of the river is protected, which is cool, especially when, like here, a highway is going to be going over it. And that is a, let's see, does it say? The river here is like the Murray River or something. Of course, it has to split into a million rivulets. Is that a term? Can I use that? If no one else is using that, I'll go ahead and use that. But yeah, here we go. So that's a big that's a big river right there. And yet, even going into the heart, or coming from the heart of the continent, you can see just like how difficult it is to find a suitable habitat for fish out here, with all this desert in between these tiny pothole lakes. But the cool thing is that they've been discovering new species of fish all throughout this area, because one, it's just never had a good survey, but two, the heat, the temperature, plus the moisture amount from monsoons and so forth allows for it all to work out really well. Um, the old nature reserve, or ord, sorry, like all I call you, I can't read. So I'm just curious, like real quick, where's Aves Creek? Like that's a type of rainbow fish, Aves Creek, Australia. Oh, well, that's helpful. Um, but there are fish down into these regions. There are some fish, I think, pretty much anywhere you're seeing green on the map. And that definitely holds true for Papua New Guinea. Now, if you talk to people like Chris Lukoff and like Gary Lang, uh, people who are kind of world traveled aficionados and obsessed with um, all things fish and travel and rainbow fish, they've spent a ton of time collecting up here. And as you come down, they call this the turkey neck, and that's the wattle, the gobbler. And it's supposed to look like a pheasant or a turkey. You see, there's its tail, there's a foot, and there's its crooked neck and its head. But this is where all the rainbow fish come from, is basically any green. Let's get out of that section because they don't really cross this odd made up boundary line, which essentially keeps things that are from the continent, the continental shelf evolutionarily separate. And rainbow fish have stayed true to that, except for the Madagascar one. Uh, let's see here. So, hey, thank you, AK Home, uh, Homegrown Roots. Uh, that is very nice of you. Um, I appreciate it. We all do. Okay, Thomas Little. So why? Oh wait, hold on. There's the first part to the question. Okay. Whoa. Uh, I had mollies laying above my floating plants. I moved them in a different aquarium. I had guppies dying on me. The water smelled. That's never good. Uh, I put in a lot of plants. Can decaying plants do that? Yeah, they sure can. What can happen is plants can break down, and if they're not already dried out, then they contain a chemical in them. And plants are very, very clever creatures the way they evolved. Plants essentially have the ability to take the lower leaves that they have that are dying and that aren't using that aren't creating energy through photosynthesis as well, because maybe they're blocked out or maybe they're sick or they're just the oldest leaves on the plant. But plants tend to grow from the crown of the plant, the very top, like especially stem plants. And I mean, I guess that's true for most plants. And they're able to take that dead tissue, and by sending enzymes and bacteria to the section that is no longer doing well, it can then reallocate nutrients and any sorts of minerals and irons and iron, potassium, magnesium, manganese, zinc, all the stuff that's in, an all-in-one fish fertilizer. It can take all of that kind of stuff and give it over to the new buds in the plant, the new growth, and steal it from the old and dying ones. And so a lot of times when you transition a plant that has been grown on land with its roots a little wet or in soaking like clay pellets, as you see when you buy plants oftentimes at, say, Petco or PetSmart, they are uh, not usually going to be ideal because they still need to convert back down to their water form rather than the form that you would be used to seeing in your aquarium. And that can be really frustrating for folks, especially when you're trying to dial everything in and, get it right, get it tight, get it right. So yeah, all right, let me see here. I want to make sure that I'm getting um all right. So as I was saying, the bird head of uh of Papua New Guinea. So Papua New Guinea is two countries. One half is Indonesia, and that's Western Papua, and then there is Papua New Guinea. Now, Papua New Guinea is its own country. I think there's 8 or 10 million people there, which doesn't seem like a lot necessarily, but I mean, it's there, and I think a better size comparison to something like if you lay this over the map, you'd see that it's something like the state of Texas. I mean, it's big. In fact, let me see if I can find that really quick. If we go Google A, we'll get to the rainbow fish soon enough, my friends, soon enough. So laying Papua New Guinea. uh, I am just typing all over Guinea map over USA. All right, this might give us some hints. So here is Papua. Can we see it overlaid over the US? There is an app on a website that lets you just click and drag any country and see how it scales because of how the map is a lie. No, the maps are actually, you know what? We can look this up an easier way too. So if Papua New Guinea, Papua New Guinea, that's again typing all wonky. How about we'll go by square miles? I really thought there was going to be a nice overlay map already made where you could see the size of it over the US. But there's really only one big country there. It's very dangerous to travel to at the moment because there's Chinese mines and uh, lumberjacks and clear cutting, as well as whole other, you know, underhanded and underworld type dealings going on with the country. But okay, so back to Papua New Guinea. Where's the all? Like to get to, am I on it already? No. All right. Let's go with all, and then we can go. Okay. So Papua New Guinea is 178,000 square miles. That's 462,000 square kilometers. And it is the 54th largest country and the third largest island country. Now that's interesting because I don't know if that means that they're counting the other side as like, number 4 or something, or if they're just, putting the whole island together and calling it one thing. Even though I think there's something like 200 dialects and languages spoken there. All right, so size 178,000 square miles. So let's look at size of California. California love. Wow, right there. So it's 163,696 square miles. So California and Papua New Guinea are pretty similar in size, apparently. So that's a lot of land to explore, especially when there's mountain ranges that are just massive, and there are all sorts of things that get into the way of collecting, like giant mountains that are 15,000 feet tall, and active volcanoes, and so forth. Let's see here. Freaky fish lady, hello. Aquatic moose, hello. Um, would work for. All right, I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything super pertinent that somebody tagged me in. Just trying to be a good little hosty wife. All right, so let's look at, if we're gonna be looking at stuff, let's take a look at some rainbow fish, and we're gonna start just because. Whoa, I don't know what I just did, but we're gonna start by looking at some Dan's fish content. And I guess we'll do, yeah, okay. We'll do this, and let's see if we can get cut. Where's the, well, paste. Okay. We'll try this, see if we can bring, yeah, okay. So we got rainbow fishes at Dan's Fishes. Now, there are some really neat ones. A couple he's out of stock on, but let's talk here about the rainbow fish he does have and some of the really cool ones that I think go under the radar. And sometimes you just need to see them in their incredible full beauty, with their stunning colors of when they usually, most rainbow fish spawn in the morning and at night. They do it like twice a day. They're a very frisky little critter, and that's part of what makes them fun to watch. They also like to show off, and they also like to be in a social group. So that, in my theory, is why they're so jumpy. Is they want to be in a group, they want that social reassurance, but then they're so energetic and spunky and sparky that they can't stick to it. Anonymous Amanda, will you marry me? I need help with my tank. Yes, I do marriages, both for others, and I will marry more wives. can never have enough wives. You just have to take it up with my boss, my first wife, my, what do they call them? Sister wives. Um, Critter Keeper, hello. Yeah, we're gonna talk about pseudomagills in just a moment. So, all right, with all that said, with all that said, um, you know what's weird is right now the comment on my stream in the chat that was, it was in blue, and where did that go? Oh, maybe it just disappeared into the ether. But there was a comment that was blue, and I was like, what does that mean? Okay, so if we look at rainbow fish, there are so many variations. There are probably, I would guess, if you're counting like different collection points as different species to some degree, like Bosemani, Aves or Aves Creek versus the Bosemani Aruga or Pagawa, they're all kind of different in their color patterns. Some of them in their size too. But if you're counting all that as different species too, then they're well over 200. I think there's about 160 last I heard, otherwise that are known. There's quite a few being discovered all the time too, but sadly, the islands that they live on, especially the little coastal ones like Aru Islands, where they're very small and they're living off of rainfall, that's their freshwater habitat, and they live kind of on a river or a creek or a flooded wetland area that then is filled with water. Well, that would be flooded. Then that kind of separates, the different ones into different groups, and sometimes they can be very near each other and just very different. So I just think that they're another fish that has kind of a fun story with them. Like when you own one, you can really get into where did this come from, and why does this fish look like this, and what colors will it have. And the other thing, like I said, was like they take some time to mature, and there are some quicker maturers. So there's things like the prey cocks, which is probably one of the easiest to spawn on, on your own for first time. The neon red and neon yellow ones. Yeah, oh yeah, here's the Melanitania bosemani that has just incredible.
Okay, here's our current
incredible colors. I mean, look at this. And these aren't full grown at all. I mean, they're just lit up like a Christmas tree. Beautiful fish. I love that Dan's Fish is putting video of some of these on the website as well. Okay, so let's start off by talking about some of these fish that you can actually keep in a small aquarium. So there's a few that people know about, like, including the neon tetra, the neon dwarf rainbow fish. And the females are yellow and kind of an iridescent blue when really happy, but with fins that are yellow. And the males just have red fins and the same deal. So it's kind of a simple way of figuring out the gender. Okay, so looking at the pseudomagills, there are quite a few pseudomagills that you don't really see in the hobby. And between Moonlight Aquatics, Aquatic Arts, Aquabid, and Dan's fish. Look at these. These are the Gertrudes, and these come from the Aru Islands, but these ones are probably not the Aru Islands ones. These are from the mainland right by the Aru Islands. And these may not look that amazing in the moment, but they get amazing when they show off and they spin around like a West Side Story knife fight, like when they tape their hand together and they're like, dun, 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 dun. We're making music from the 80s, even though it's 50s gang warfare. And so yeah, you got these little guys. They're really pretty. The Aru 2s and the Aru 4s are varieties that were from different collection points on the Aru Island. I want to say, was it Gary Lang maybe who kind of figured out some of that? But these guys are found in a lot of environments where it's clear they probably had to cross the sea not that long ago, or at least some brackish water. Now, these are another really cool fish that get overlooked, and there's only 4 left right now. But these are the Skull Creek Sahulensis. Now, Sahul is the name of that whole landmass that is modern Melanesia and Australasia and Oceania. And it used to, when the ice age was locking up full amounts of ice, I suppose, when the sea levels dropped considerably because you had these giant glaciers all over the world. But that's probably how these got into several locations and why they exist kind of all over the board. If we go to, it says they're from Moa Island. So let me just look that up real quick so I can show you, because these are a really fun one and they're in my tank right now. And I can show you them in my tank too. They're not too shy. Moa Islands. Off of Queensland. Ah, all right, so copy. What amazes me about some of this, though, too, is a lot of these rainbow fish are from like these brackish, swampy areas, and then they end up doing pretty darn well in just plain water, even though they evolved really uh, notoriously to be tougher. Okay, so here's Moa Island, and that's clearly between the point off of Australia here and into the island across the way, the Moa Island, that is. So that's I find that interesting. Uh, But the other thing is, so what's been explored heavily is the Bird's Head up here. Also, the Central Mountain Range has been explored uh, a good deal amount. But I am curious what is, if anything, going to be found on the whole interior and up towards those mountains. But if they can live on a little island, sorry guys, if they can live on a little island like this as a freshwater fish, I mean, it's probably like I don't know, a brackish pond or something. Oh, I think I saw actual. Yeah, there's an actual road here. And if I zoom out 5 kilometers, It's more than that. Okay. So, um, where do we? The thing is, I'm trying to see the terrain on here. I guess because we came through Wikipedia, maybe we can't get the true Google Maps operating. But anyways, they're a good one. And I mean, who would have thought to look on some of the islands like that that are off the coast that definitely don't have enough water resources for the locals to live there anymore, whatnot. Okay, so let's get back to this too. So look at this Pseudomagil Aru 2. These are from another section of the Aru Islands, which are out in that same Moa Island area. And they are in the Torres Strait, which is a passageway for boats, and just a natural geological and social construct. But the Pseudomagil Gertrude R2s, they're very, very orange, not as much yellow. You could be forgiven for thinking this is a Pseudomagil luminatus with how yellow it is. But the orange, which gets darker with age, uh, definitely looks really nice in an aquarium. And they put these little back fins up and they spin around and they look absolutely fantastic. The same with these are probably the best tiny little rainbow fish. um, and they're really just kind of delicate and beautiful. I think they're fun. I need to get like some to take better pictures of my fish with. I feel like lately they haven't. They've been poo. Uh, let's see here. So back to the other fish. Um, you can have the Sahulensis. These guys here. You can have them in with thread fins and pseudomagills, maybe another mid-size like a neon of some sort, a neon rainbow fish. Also, I think the Kali Tawas are ones that could probably be put with other rainbows. You might want to do more research and find out if anybody that you know has already combined that literal combination so that you know that way. But then there's also, all sorts of new and or little known uh, rainbow fish species. Let's see here. Most frequently flash. Okay, so that didn't really help us sort any of that out, but that's understandable. Okay. So another one that I really like that's fairly small, other than the pseudomagills, which are all beautiful, the pseudomagil curlensis, I believe is how you say it, or surilensis. They stay pretty small. So do these guys, these Komang rivers. Um, there's some now, I'd say if it stays under 3 inches, that's pretty small. The problem is that they really need a lot of room to run, as I said. So yeah. All right. Let's see here. My furcadas take prepared food from day one. Oh, nice. Yeah, you looked out there. Come on. Oh, very nice. So Neo Veritas says I keep 4 species of smaller rainbow fish, and they're the furtat for is it wait for furcatas? Thought I was furcatas. Whatever. The fork tails. I have them right here too to reference if I wasn't so scatterbrained. Um, I don't know where their listings were gonna go. Anyways, let's take a look at some of the weirdo rainbow fish that are out there. Um, Dan's Fish, if you want to use it, buy anything there, you can use my discount code for, I honestly don't know if it's 10 or 15% right now. It has changed several times, but for a while it was that I was going to hold on to a little less. And oh, wait, Melanitania. This one might not get too big if I recall either. Yeah, 5 to 6 inches. I guess that. Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty big. Okay, never mind. Ignore me. Hey, do I have any goodie heads in your collection? I don't. Wait, is that true? I don't have any right now per se, but uh, maybe soon. Hey, Atkins, Alex, will you marry me? Yes, yes, we can get married. Again, you'll just have to convince Laura. Hey, pipe down over there. She's already giving me away. I think she's offering money to people who want to marry me. Thank you for the gift of membershiping. I really do appreciate that, Ryan Massey. Thank you, buddy. Uh, Giving the gift of education to uh, a little rainbow lover in training. Oh, Nirvana Aquatics, you are fired. I'm never going to pay you your 6-figure salary again. Bosemones are really cool. For a while, I felt like they were a little bit played out, but now I get like with the different color morphs and with the like, what is it, red and it's like on the back flanks. Uh, Super pretty though. Uh, Thanks, Silver Creek. What's going on, buddy? Finally got a big 70-gallon in the living room. Can't wait to move the cichlid. Oh, right on. Very cool. Um, yeah, I feel a bit better for sure today. Holly, I get a little like uh ruffled. We'll just go with ruffled. Uh, and then I have a hard time staying up. And even when I have plenty of sleep and whatnot, it's like the sitting down is the kiss of death for that, um, for sure. But I'm thinking, guys, what I need your help with is what is the general life expectancy for turquoise rainbows? I believe it's 6 to 10 years, which is quite the range, but they seem to live a long time when they're, you know, uh, captive bred and in your water, or if you just have really good water. Yeah, they can live a decade. Thanks, Steven. Hey, Todd McCarver, a new member. Yay! Let's do the new member dance. You were alone. You had no friends, but in the end, you got your fish and your fish friends. We're fish friends until the end. And we have no life, we're always here. So have no fear, you've got your fish friends at only $1.99 or more if you want to be nice and you're loaded. But don't feel bad if you're not, because most of us are broke because we spend our money on fish and health issues, fish issues, healthy fish issues. So welcome. So there's your welcome song. Just bought orange albino 5 of them today. You guys, you know what? I got to break free. I've got to show you my Saluensis um in the fish room, and then I'm gonna hop off. But I wanted to say that like Radnocentris ornatus, the Thalhulensis, the Praecox, all the really incredible and beautiful rainbow fish like pseudo modill. The thing is, some pseudomogills are not. Well, one, some of them jump out and stuff, and that's a little bit rough. But the other thing is that they vary in color a lot, just by where they're from. Like the Aru collection points, like these. Let me pop up this cut, 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 cut. Okay. So just by looking over here, like that is the Aru2 over on Blake Aquatics video here. And then the RU4s, they're like actually they're closer to this orange color like the Luminatus are. Now Pascal, it's really confusing. They used to be their own, and or like what is that? Is that just the trade name for Luminatus? But now there is a different Luminatus, so they think they're just gonna call it two different collection points for the Luminatus. But there are a number of pseudomagills that nobody ever sees. So like pseudomagill pelcutus, sure, it's clear. Who wants that? But like look at the subtle like chocolate to fire like spots here, and then the yellow here, yellow up there, and then this like weird bronze colored line into the silver. Plus they're a blue eye, but their eye is like uh barely blue, unlike a Luminatus where you're like, whoa, that is in freaking incredible. Oh, I'm not showing you guys anything. Duh. Okay. So we are the grapes of wrath. Grapes of wrath. Oh, something, something, something never in our path. Okay. So what I was saying is the how did that get so lost? I guess we could go back a step. Oh yeah, here they are. So, and they come from this beautiful, like running creek, clear water environment, which a lot of them would love to be coming from. But a lot of these areas are starting to get even like polluted, and just they're dredging them out so that boats can bring equipment in to do different building projects and mining and lumber, especially in Papua New Guinea where it's kind of the Wild West. But a lot of these fish were just now learning about how many there are, like how many various yet similar looking species are out there. But the Pseudomagil Cyana dorsalis is another one that's really beautiful that you rarely see in the hobby. But again, look at that. It's gold and black, and it's got like a metallic blue. And this picture is a good picture, for sure. But I'm just trying to see here if I can show you guys, like, yeah, some of the other ones that are ah, yeah, they're real. I mean, that's a realistic appraisal, a realistic what they would look like. But yeah, so there's all these different pseudomagills now, and there's also brackish pseudomagills, and I think it's worth following because these are what will get going in the hobby and really kind of keep things what's like flowing enough so that then more people do become interested in just exclusively um the little rainbows and stuff. I thought they'd have like a phylogeny or phylogenetics phylogeny chart. But here you go. Here you can see a nice assortment of the pseudomagills. Here's another Gertrude. That's a Gertrude that's well spotted without the white. That might be one of either the RU2 or whoops or 4. It resembles one of the Aru relatives. Um, Anyhow, so let's pop off here. Let's take a look at the ones I've got in my tanks real quick. Evergreen Psyche, hello to you as well. Do I need to sing songs to everyone? Oh, and we've got Mr. H2O81. Welcome and thank you so much for the support. You guys are like a training bra to my brain and to the channel. Really do appreciate it. All right. That does kind of look like an aquarium strain Gertrude, doesn't it, Stephen? Do those exist? Is that a thing? Is my life have meaning? And the answer is I don't know. All right, let's see here. So let me get on here. Hopefully, I won't deafen you all. Let me try to mute one thing. One real quick, I'm going to show them these ones. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, echo-ish. Hold on. Let's see if when we go in the other room, if it does it. Good evening, Mr. Pyle. Pyle! Sergeant Pyle. Okay, so these guys, I keep the water real low and lots of plants. Because they're jumpers. They're big-time jumpers. These Sahulensis drainbows. I don't even want to call them rainbow fish. They're so tiny. They're so tiny. They're like itty-bitty babies. Now, let's try to get them to come to the front. Come to the front. Eminence the front. Eminence the front. Can you guys hear me at all? Or is it just like echoing like crazy still? Yeah, these guys are real rambunctious. So we've got those in this tank here. And then we've also, this one's like hiding way over here. But we've got them. And we've also got the Gertrude Aru 4s. And then they're hanging out in the grass here. But this is only a 20-gallon tank. So I'm just trying to remind folks that if it's well planted, you can really do quite a bit. So in here, I've got 4 RU4s. I've got 6 of the Sahulensis Skull Creeks. Then we've got also the always wonderful threadfin. And we've got, I think, 5 or 6 Luminatus. And once they like relax, they just come out, and it's so beautiful to watch. This is one of my favorite tanks to watch. But having all these plants, they keep way better color. That's for sure. Like you'll see here that the white on the RU4s is showing. There's the RU females, but there's the RU4s there showing off well, and there's the Luminatus, which isn't colored up right now, which is kind of odd. I think it's just because this room got a little cold. But yeah, the Arus seem to withstand cold a bit better. The Sahulensis also do. But I do clean up this tank because this is just like 3 or 4 days, and they've made this mess of like on the sand. Since there's no substrate in this tank, it's like, I mean, it's inactive, not really a point to it. Also, while we're in here, since I haven't shown you guys this update, we've got in here, we've got Xiphophorus pygmaeus. So these are the smallest of the swordtails. And they are a dwarf swordtail. Well, that's a white cloud minnow, as you all know. But here, these dwarf swordtails, they don't really have a sword tail. They've got this kind of long tail. And sometimes when they get really mature, yeah, see that little notch in the tail? That's all you're going to get. Not an actual sword. So they're in here. I've got 5 or 6 of them. I got a good deal on them, so I decided, why not? Let's try them out. Let's see what happens. And then I've got my grumpy betta in here, who he's a beautiful boy, but he's just been grumpy lately, eating scuds and things. I need to fatten this one up. It's just been kind of chilling. Then we've got the wild bettas doing their thing, whatever they do. They're probably hiding all the way in the back right now. Oh no, never mind. Here he is. So these are the ones from Malak, Compuncta Malak, and there's the male. He's not colored up right now. The female's pretty similar. She's got some different banding and like lace patterns, but she's pretty similar. Then this is a giant betta that is young that I was sent by a viewer who needed to move and get rid of some. Then this is a really interesting case. I don't know what's going on. This started 3 days ago. It looks like cyanobacteria. I think it's actually a fungi, but it doesn't seem to be bugging anybody. The snails are eating it, and the fish are even eating it. But these are a very beautiful betta, wild betta. These are this is a Betta mahachiensis, and you can see some have some red in them, but these are growing out. There's like 8 babies in this little tank, like in a little 2.5 gallon. Some are really small still, like that one back there with the stripes, that female, she's still really small. They're at that age where they've never gotten their color yet, so they just have their female or male patterns, which is interesting. And then the adults, they're in here, and they're beautiful. They're wild Maha chiensis. And then there's also the white cloud minnows that were discovered off of Vietnam. The one with the new name that I always forget. I think maybe it starts with an A. I don't know. But that's the kind of betta situation going on here. Then also we've got the Axelrodi, Sundadanios in here. This tank still has no filter, no heater, nothing. And I didn't put food out today, but look at all the shrimp just doing their thing. There's lots of pregnant ones, and that's cool. And then here we've got some project fish. We've got, what is he eating? Anyways, we've got another big giant betta that's a baby, and it's maybe 1.5 inches, maybe pushing 2 inches now, but still very young. Then we've also got skunk cories in here. This is a glass bottom tank that I just clean a lot. And then we've got some Medaka, the random surprise Medaka eggs that I got from Japan from an online dude. And these ones are all kind of predictable, dare I say, boring patterns that are coming up to the glass right now. But there are a few in here that are the Japanese cherry blossom ones that are just knockout beautiful, with the lame and the long fin and like the orange koi kind of spotted thing going on. But they're real curious, these Medaka. Nobody's spawning at the moment, just time of year, I guess. But oh yeah, there's one of the Japanese ones there with the longer anal fin and then the darker pattern. And then over here, of course, we've got the red arc fish. We've got all these that I bred. I can't believe that I bred these. I bred a total now of these little hovering loaches. Nobody had documented breeding them, and I think I started with 4 or 6. Maybe I think I bought 4 and then I bought 2 more is what happened. But now there are 14 in this tank. And see all this Sawasser tongue here that's like 6 inches to 8 inches thick? The babies just start appearing when they're about 1.5 inches. See how these ones are smaller here compared to, you'll see like the bigger ones like right in here. They just appear at like here's one that just started appearing. But where they were mostly growing was down here in the stagnant dry season tank where Mr. Angelfish is in timeout. I need to clean the glass really bad here. There's an Acara in here, or a couple Acaras, and then there's Mr. Angelfish, and then there's some other stuff, random stuff. Then in here, this is the dojo loaches from Lake Washington, and they just live in the Sawasser Tang. They've got one random endler, don't ask why, and then Blue Dream shrimp and one Corridora that I thought was on death's door, so I threw him in here, and just that was that. Then in here we've got the blue Mate loaches, which are tetras, which I really like. They're now going for a whole bunch of money. They were really cheap at one point. They were like $3.99, and then everybody found out how cool they were, and now they're like $15.99. And then we've got checkerboard cichlids doing their thing. We've got there should be serpent tetras in here, and there's some funky ones. There's also a white, yeah, here she is, a white female betta doing her thing. And then there are, believe it or not, 9 gold laser corridoras that are young in here. And because of all the little huts in here and all the Sawasser Tang, they never come out. And I feel like I've been ripped off. I'll like move all of that stuff, and then they'll come forward. At night they'll come out and they'll do their little once over. And then we've got these. Some of these are an unknown Hyphosobricon species. And right now I need to add water. I'm hoping to trigger spawning in the gold laser quarries. But these Hyphosobricons, most of them look just like a Serpe or a red phantom tetra. But there's a few that are 3 now that came in and are just unknowns from the wet spot. There are some new species that's not documented. But I don't know why they're not coming forward. They're not being cooperative at all. And then up here, we've got Here we go. We've got the blue Malawas. In here we've got the red Malawas and originals. We've got kind of a snail explosion going on. But this is the green Neocaridina shrimp. This is a blue Neocaridina. And then this is one of our newest adds to the fish room, which is come back. Come back, sweetie. Here she comes. She's got a glass belly. So you can see through her entire belly and see the babies when she's carrying. You can see their spines and their eyes and like every little bit of everything. And these were originally born and bred for the scientific world. And she has ribbons on her pectoral fins. And then she has a mate up there somewhere. I don't know where he's at. But they had babies just not long ago. And so I'm curious to see how the babies look. If it's a trait that, here's the male. So nothing spectacular with the male. He's got a glass belly too, so you can see through it all. He's completely translucent also. So it's kind of cool. You can see their organs and stuff. Here's those fish again that I was telling you about. That one looks to be a phantom of some sort, like a gold phantom maybe that's just really red. So right now the room's a mess. This stuff's all in a big pile, all the boxes of fish related stuff. This is just about ready to be rebuilt in a 40 breeder. I tried to sneak a 55 in here. It doesn't quite fit. But I can put a 5-gallon where all the power strips are if I want to tuck them behind. I'm tempted to kind of just revamp this tank I'm tempted to revamp this tank. And then we've got 2 slots that are new up here. The roof is leaking, like I said, and this is the damage that's been done to the boards. And the mold's all been killed with bleach and everything. But you can see here, like the seams and stuff, they're all effed. So that's a bummer. It's like that in 4 different rooms in our place right now. Yeah, look at all these hovering loaches. Look at them go. So DATS magazine, I think it is, the remnants of it or whatever it turned into, they contacted me and they're like, so we heard somebody mention that you got a video of hovering loaches and that you bred them in captivity. And I was like, is that not a thing? And they're like, that's definitely not a thing. So, not that I can do it consistently, but down in that tank where the water is a little murky, it's got infusoria from all of these plants when they melt and no filtration going on, just an air stone. And it is a tank that will produce those. When there's no other harmful fish in there, no predatory fish, these guys just show up about 3 or 4 a month. So kind of fun. But then also right here, I'm going to build a new stand, a new shelf, and that's where the 65 is going. And maybe also here, or maybe here, I don't know. I want to set it up so I can do the set instead of sitting in the living room and dealing with all that crap. Also, I cut all the plants down from here. And you can see it looks like a wasteland in the tank at the moment. There's only a couple gouramis in here left at the moment. Everything else is out of there. Yeah, there's some fire red gouramis back there. And low light, very low light, a current light. And yeah, the hair grass is still just growing like out of control. Pretty wild. So those are the new things, the new tanks I have to set up. That's why I was looking at rainbow fish, was like, I was thinking rainbows here, but now I'm thinking rare tetras or rare rasboras or something. And then doing either earth eaters or rainbow fish or discus. I've never done discus. Are a possibility for this 65. All the babies are out. And then over there is pencilfish breeding project. That's for the Andouzi pencilfish, which is a kind of an unusual one. You don't hear about a lot, but I think they're really pretty. All right. So I just got these from Moonlight Aquatics. And these are lapis azul hyphosobricons. These ones with the light blue and the black stripe. And they've also got purple and stuff. We've got headstanders, we've got rummy nose, and then we've got orange-eyed lemon tetras from Venezuela, maybe. And then we've also got all the beautiful pencilfish, even though they're not. They're kind of the most boring ones. But when the males show off, they kind of get a pretty color in their fin. So there's no star in here. There's some black phantom tetras. But for the most part, I wanted to show that boring fish that were once very common can still make a beautiful tank. So that's the idea there. Here we've got the panda loaches, the endlers. Hello, panda loach. And then we've got all the glass cats from Borneo. There's 6 of them. All the tin Winnie Daniels. This tank needs a trim already. Then we've got my betta that's hiding. I've got so many bettas to breed when I'm ready. This guy has the red tail. And this guy has the red tail. And then there's the blue and gold tail loaches too. And then in here there's also yellow polka dot. What are they called? Yellow polka dot rasboras that are extremely tiny. And the Anduzi pencilfish. There's one right down there with the red tip tail. And then the Tinwinnie Danio's my favorite Danio. All of these fish in all of these tanks are things that I was like, dang it, I need to start breeding. And then that beautiful cobalt color that you see hanging out at the top flickers of those little fish, those are Mekong Delta rice fish. And I've got about 8 of them in here. So that's the deal. There's the blue-tailed loach, and the red is kind of hiding. But I've posted photos, and yeah, ceiling needs to come down. Well, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. But thank you so much for joining me and hanging out. And I'll get some photos of the new tetras that I got at Moonlight. They're really gonna be pretty, I think, with the tannins I put in here and feeding them Daphnia and everything. And this cutting is finally coming into its own of the Pinto hydrocaudal verticillata, which is a real unusual one compared to the normal here. So it's got white little blotches on the heart part of the cleft. Yeah, Kara, you're totally right. Dominant X pygmy swordtails will turn quince yellow. Cool. Yeah, I was kind of hoping they will. All right, guys. Well, have a good one. Thank you so much for the super chats and the members and just all great stream. You guys rock. Thanks in the replay in advance for anybody who's doing that. And yeah, let me know if you think we should do a video on anything else or check in with anything else next. Have a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.